So I've been staring at my phone for like the last 15, 20 minutes wondering where to even start or begin talking about this kind of topic. So I'm just going to start going with it. I guess let's start discussing, the history, how, where, when I am learning how to do visual effects and editing and basically just filmmaking in general. So yeah, let's see. I graduated from high school in 2007 and I'm 24 right now. So that gives you an idea of like how old I am and where I'm coming from as far as like timeline. So let's see, when I was I think a sophomore in high school, we had this computer that had like a capture card in it, and we were able to feed my TV, like the cable box, into the computer, and we would like buy a pay-per-view movie sort of thing, and I would record it straight into my computer, our family computer, just so we can keep the movies, like you would on a home DVR sort of thing. This is back before DVRs, really. And every now and then, the movie would, like literally, the cable box would crash, and the movie would stop playing halfway through, and it would interrupt the recording and all that. So one time I was like, I'm going to see if I can fix this, because I started recording the second half of the movie we'd recorded, and so I had two halves of this recording, and instead of just like burning them onto two separate DVDs, I actually went into the capture card software and joined them together seamlessly. And at the time, that blew my mind. This was the first time I'd ever done any sort of video editing ever, and I had no idea you could do anything like this. And so that was what first got me on the track of being interested in this sort of thing. So then a couple years goes by, and I'm like a junior, senior in high school now, and just using the family camera, I set it up on a tripod because the software my dad had gotten to record home movies with, or edit home movies on, was called like Pinnacle Studio Software Suite, something like that. And it's really pretty basic editing software in hindsight, but at the time I was surprised to see that there's two video tracks. That, again, blew my mind, in that on the top video track you can cut one in half, and that opens up clone videos. And so I literally set up my computer, or the camera, on like a tripod, and I just did this thing with me just kind of standing there and scaring the other me, I guess, and then leaving the room. You can actually go see it on my YouTube channel if you go like click on videos and then sort from like oldest to new. So you see like my earliest of early videos. And then again, didn't really do anything for a couple years. I just kind of did a couple of those videos and then just didn't really think much of it. I went to college and I started studying mechanical engineering because I'm good at math and I have a very, very intense curiosity about how things work, just in general, all sorts of things. So engineering is just a natural fit for that. I didn't really think or know what I was intending to do, and it made sense. And I enjoyed it for the most part, except when it started getting hard, because engineering is really hard, because I thought I was good at math until I started doing like vector calculus, which is like Calc 4, and then realized that I'm not as good as I used to think I was at math. And so it was just hard. I made it through though. What am I getting at? But my point is that eventually January of 2009 rolled around and I discovered a website that all of you are surely familiar with called videocopilot.net. And that month of 2009 was the changing point in my life, because that's when I realized that you can do effects, like not just like clone things, but like actual Hollywood sort of effects on your home computer. And I had a laptop at the time that couldn't even dream of handling After Effects. Yeah, that was the discovery of After Effects. It was Video Copilot, if you don't know, is a website that they have a lot of tutorials on how to use this program, because he sells these things, plugins, stock footage to use specifically for After Effects. And he thought, no one's going to buy my footage if no one knows how to use it. So I'm going to teach people how to use it for free, and then they'll come buy my stuff. Incredible business model, because now Video Copilot's a huge studio, production, kind of, not studio, but like company. Now, they make lots of plugins that I use all the time for After Effects. So I pretty much spent the next several months watching every single tutorial that was on that website. And at the time, there was like 100. if that. No, it was under 100. It was like 70 or so. I watched all of them, every single one. And even still, I had never once opened the program. I never once downloaded it. Yeah. And so here I was with all this After Effects knowledge. I was like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And I didn't. Never once used the program. So, because I did end up installing a demo version on my laptop and played around with doing a couple little things, but it was super minimal because my laptop would overheat and turn off whenever I'd just do the simplest things, because this is an older laptop. And then one day I got in a car accident. I got rear-ended by someone. They broke my bumper, put just a big gash in it, and of course their insurance, fortunately he was covered under insurance, paid for repairing my car. And this was the first time I'd gotten in an accident where it was someone else's insurance like paying for your repairs. And I didn't realize that all they did was literally just send you a check after you got your car appraised on how much it would cost. And so here I was with this $600 check to replace my bumper. And my bumper is perfectly fine other than just a big puncture hole in it. And my car is older and kind of crappy. It was a cheap car, basically. It's not like a nice car. You're like, oh, I need to have this pristine. So what I did was I went on Newegg and bought a bunch of computer parts with that check and built a computer. And that was, again, the next big moment in the history of all this, because here I suddenly had this nice computer. I mean, nice, whatever top of the line $600 can get you. And I had just gotten a monitor, like a computer monitor, a few months beforehand for my birthday. So it was like, here I am with this computer that I can edit on. And so pretty much I spent my entire summer just editing together videos, learning how to use the program. I did the Video Copilot demon face thing. I did a couple teleporting videos. I did, what else did I do? I did like this hand-cocked super jump thing where I came down and cracked the pavement, stuff like that. And then school started again. I kind of leveled off. Oh, I know. Another big thing that I started doing was I recorded a tutorial for aetutsplus.com or ae.tutsplus.com. It was a tutorial website, and I did it on that Hancock super jump video. And at the time, or rather the video itself took me, I don't know, 2 days to a week to make this 7-second effect. I didn't know what I was doing, and so when I made the tutorial, I've never made a tutorial where I didn't know how to do it just off the top of my head. So what that meant was having to recreate that same effect over and over and over again from scratch until I was able to do it in like half an hour. From start to finish, this entire effect in half an hour. And because I remember reading at one point, this guy who was in college, how he would study for his exams is he would write Wikipedia pages, articles on Wikipedia about like these subjects that didn't really have much on them, and he would just research this historic figure and then write all this stuff about this person's history, and that's how he would study, by teaching. And so I took that to heart and started trying to learn how to do visual effects by mastering it enough to teach it. And so that went on. That's why I have probably, I don't know, 10, 12 tutorials on that website now, not including the epic tutorials on my own channel. Just because whenever I do an effect, it took me a while to get to that finishing point, but then I would go and learn how I made it and just remaster it until I was able to do it quickly and efficiently. That's another important thing. Usually the tutorials were not how I actually did it the first time. I'd find new techniques and trying to recreate the effect. And so that was where I started. I really feel progressing how fast I was able to pick up visual effects, because I would literally just focus on what was the most efficient way to do this effect. Where can I get better at this thing? Just because I was able to do it once doesn't mean anything. I wanted to be able to do it better and faster. So yeah, so then, college continued. I think I was going into my junior year of college, which coincidentally was also the most intense year of study, like the second semester. So I guess I will be editing this video because my phone just popped up saying 20% battery life, and it actually stopped recording. So now I'm going to have to join both of these two videos together. But no big deal. Where was I? I was talking about, right, so second semester of college. This was my junior year, and so I was taking fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, heat transfer, machine design, fluid mechanics lab, all these classes, which basically amounted to me having to be at the engineering facility from 8 in the morning till midnight, 6 days a week. Every day, just working on lab reports, like 40-page lab reports and homework assignments. Just anytime I was not in class, I was working on homework. So I didn't really have much time for anything else. But just before that semester had started, I'd put up, this is January of 2010 at this point, I put up a video called The Duel with my sister. And that was something I had filmed over Christmas break with my new camera that I had just gotten. I talked about this briefly yesterday. It was the T1i. And I just threw a bunch of things together and I made this video and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. I had some cool music with it. I had some, some cool effects, sky replacements, lightning, fire, blood, all this stuff. It was sweet. And then I pretty much didn't do anything for like the rest of that summer. That Christmas and then that semester. So then that summer came around. So then that summer came around, and what did I end up really doing that summer? I didn't really do too much because I had a full-time job working in a machine shop, welding and stuff like that. And I managed to record one video, which is one of my most embarrassing videos, to be honest. It's called That Poor Bird. Again, you can go find it on my YouTube channel. It's literally just me sitting on a couch talking to me. It was another clone video. But what made it hard was that it was just going back and forth between, like a normal conversation between two people, how you have over-the-shoulder shots and all that stuff. I had scripted it, and it was basically, I was playing the Halo Reach beta, and yeah. Not much to it. Again, it was kind of an embarrassing video because it's just kind of bad. And then I spent like 8 minutes at the end of it just giving shout-outs and thank yous because that's what you did at the time, as far as I was concerned, on videos like that, because that's what everyone else is doing. So I thought I would do that. Makes sense, right? And then I recorded another video with my friend and my sister again that ended up turning into Elemental Combat. And that took a year to make. Kind of. I spent... From the time I recorded it to when I put it up, it was almost a year. It was like 10 months. But I didn't spend an entire year working on it. No, I spent some time during that following Christmas break, and then I finished the rest. I did a little bit more, like the following February, whatever, and then I did the rest of that video in like May and then put it up. And that was Elemental Combat, where like the dude jumps out of the ground, I shoot a fire flame at him, and he blocks it, and then my sister blows my head off with an electric beam. Yeah, so, and that was around the time that I had realized that engineering was not what I wanted to do anymore. It wasn't so much that engineering was not what I wanted to do, as much as I realized that video making and filmmaking in general was what I did want to do. Unfortunately, I was realizing this like a month and a half before I graduated with a degree. And so obviously at that point, I'm not gonna, quit and back out. I'm just gonna suck it up and finish working. Because it was March of 2011 that I became, a few things happened very quickly that changed everything. One was I became a YouTube partner. And at the time, I had been partnered by Fullscreen. And when I say at the time, it was because this was back before networks were really wide known. The only two networks that existed at the time were Maker Studios and Machinima, because Fullscreen had existed for about a week and a half. I am literally their very first Fullscreen partner. George himself, like George Strampolis, the CEO, called me up and was like, hey, you want to be a partner for our YouTube network thing? And I was like, yeah. And ironically, he didn't know I made videos and stuff like that. He was just wanting to monetize my fish video that had like 6 million views of me just getting bit by a fish. Stupidest video ever. But it got their attention, and that's what matters, right? Because he was like, oh yeah, cool videos. Yeah, let's partner you. And so, yeah, and then like the following week after that was YouTube Next Up. The first one, the one where it's like everyone who gets in gets $35,000. I was like, oh my God, $35,000, holy crap. So I signed up, I made a video, put that out, and that got a lot of attention. I quickly went from just like a few hundred subscribers to almost 2,000 subscribers in just like a month. And so I got a lot of attention like that, and obviously I didn't make it into the Next Up thing. But at this point, I was like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm doing it. So in the next few months, I made the Rage shot video. This is after Elemental Combat. I made like the Smash Bros shot with my good friends. One of which, Matt, ended up becoming kind of like my lead actor in a lot of my videos, just because he's an incredible actor and is really good at improv, and improv was kind of like my style of how to make videos. And so I was like, this is great. I'm just going to keep putting you in more videos. And so we ended up making kind of like a semi-quasi sequel to it, just as more like a prompt than anything to really go from there. And we made Falcon Punch, which I'm sure if you follow my channel from watching my videos, you've probably seen Falcon Punch. But I don't want to be too assumptuous. So yeah, made Falcon Punch, and that did pretty well. And a week later, I visited Los Angeles, being like, hey, I need to check out Los Angeles, see what it's all about. And again, another string of events led to, like, holy crap, this worked out amazingly, because all of a sudden here I am wearing all this gear, and I'm in a Freddy W video, the Splinter Cell light bulb shootout video. That was me as a guard, and I had literally showed up earlier that day being like, hey guys, I'm here to hang out with you. I had been in contact with Henry, who was Freddy's editor at the time. We had been just talking all through the summer, and so I was in LA, and he was like, yeah, come on over. So I was like, cool. In case you don't know, they're usually not too cool about people randomly showing up without really talking or whatever ahead of time, or arranging it. Random people, so to say. So I had an in, is my point. And Freddy had seen my stuff, Corridor had seen my stuff, and so yeah, that was cool. And so then I went home, and that's when I realized, like, no, I gotta be in Los Angeles. So yeah, I packed up, after like another month, I packed up everything I had. I made that Skyrim time-lapse video, because Skyrim came out, and in the course of a week, I put in a little over 100 hours into this video game, and this is like the first time in a long time I'd put that much time into a video game. And so by the end of that week, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I need to do something with this. And so I installed every graphical mod that was out at the time and just did this time-lapse thing over the weekend and put it up on like Monday. And sure enough, a few days later, it had like 300,000 views. This is Thanksgiving week here in the States. So then that December, I moved down to LA, found a place to stay. Then that January, I was just doing stuff. I made some tutorials to just trying different things. I ended up getting in contact with Corridor Digital again, and they invited me to work on Sync as a production assistant, a PA. And yeah, that was a good experience. They liked my work ethic. And from there, I just started working on 1,000 Ways to Kill a Noob. This is a long video. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm also sitting on my chair. Literally, it's my chair. I feel like I should tell the rest of the story later, because this is really mostly just like a history of what I've been up to rather than how do I learn visual effects, as you've been able to figure out by now. So yeah, 1,000 Ways to Kill a Noob wasn't nearly as successful as I was hoping it would be, which is why I've not really done any more since then. But it was a good first 3 videos or so that I made. I can go into more detail. I mean, let me know what you guys think about what I'm telling you. If there's anything more you want me to talk about in detail, I can talk about that stuff. Because then everything in the last year, I feel it warrants its own video on its own. But yeah, so that's where I came from, just chugging away at learning programs here and there. So yeah, now that this video I think is freaking 20 minutes long, I'm going to go upload this, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, no, I can't just end it like that. Seriously, what else do you want me to talk about? And yeah, bye.